And joining us live now for more on this is Universities Australia CEO Catriona Jackson. Catriona, really appreciate your time. Thank you. I know you've just rushed there to our Parliament House studio after spending the past hour or so listening to that address from Jason Clare at the National Press Club. I see the Australian's written it up as describing that it was a pitch for a Gonski-style funding model for universities. It sounds pretty expensive in terms of some of the ideas that Jason Clare was floating today.
Look, I'm not sure I'd quite put it like that. Certainly we're really pleased with the interim recommendations and the 5 points that Jason Clare is going to enact straight away. We've been saying many of these things are really necessary. There were some things the Accord review needed to recommend right now, not at the end of the review, which is the end of this year, and more places for Indigenous students just to make sure they get that golden opportunity in the city and in the bush, and some sort of funding certainty for universities. So the extension of that funding scheme for universities is a really good opportunity for us to just have a breathing space so that we can untangle the mess that is the funding system imposed under the previous government.
I think we'd all like to see disadvantaged people getting more of an opportunity to go to university if they would like to do that. But as you know, that's a lot easier said than done. Just how challenging do you think it will be to turn around those demographics, and what sort of time frame do you expect we're looking at here?
Oh, look, Ashley, there's an extraordinary success story in Australia already. The establishment of the Higher Education Contribution Scheme since the Dawkins era has been an opening up of Australian universities to a hugely large number of Australians. We need to continue working in that tradition, but just take a breath now, and that's what the Accord's for, to make sure the settings we have in place are ones which will serve us and help universities serve the nation into the future. Just have a look at the sort of funding arrangements. As you say, this is not simple. If it was easy to make sure that every kid with the wit and the will had a place in university, we would have done it already. But look, I feel there's real will from government, there's real will from the sector, and the 5 immediate actions we've seen implemented today, which are all good and constructive, are a very good signpost for the future for this review, this very important review.
You mentioned there are 5 key areas here, but when we did dip in a little earlier to that speech by Jason Clare, we heard him saying that there were, I think he said, some 70 ideas that were being put forward as part of the report. What else stood out for you? Is there anything sort of out of the box here that really raised your eyebrows or that you'd be keen to embrace sooner rather than later?
Look, there are 2 sections, I think, to today's announcement. There are the 5 things, including that funding certainty for university, while we think about a fairer funding system for students and for certainty for institutions, those expanded places for Indigenous students, the getting rid of the 50% rule, the rule in which students get knocked out if they fail half their subjects in just the 1 year, knocked out to be able to stay in a supported place. Those things are all really important. More regional hubs, and also some measures, some conversations between state and federal jurisdictions about governance issues. Those are all important things. They're in the Action Now department. The rest of the report, 144 pages, some 75 ideas. There are lots of things for us to think about and to talk about and to negotiate and stress test over the next 5-6 months. And that's the way both the Minister and the Accord panel, headed by Mary O'Kane, have described it the whole way along. Everything here is on the table, and universities like debate. We like to really get to the bottom of ideas. So we're looking forward to that discussion.
All right. Well, sounds like there'll be more to come and plenty of food for thought, as you say. Really appreciate you joining us. Catriona, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you.